Hello everyone. Now this session is a continuous session of XML, that is extensible markup language. So in the previous session we have seen what is markup language, what is the full form of XML, so what the XML describes, and we have seen the XML standards, and similarly we have seen syntax as well as how to declare a root element, what is a child element, so what is XML statement. So we have gone with the 2 to 3 examples to explain about the XML. So now this is the next session which is followed after that. So the next point is about the XML attributes. So what are XML attributes? Similar like HTML. So if I take an example of image tag in HTML, I can declare a attribute called src height width. Similarly, so what is an attribute there? Src is an attribute. So what is img there? Img is an element. Similarly, the XML has its own elements as well as its own attributes. So now today let us discuss about the XML attributes. The XML attributes are normally used to describe the elements or to provide the additional information about the elements. Similarly, what I have mentioned earlier by using a tag called img in HTML. So img src is equals to d sunset.jpg. So in this example, src is called as an attribute. So we have seen, we are well known about the HTML, but let us learn about XML declaration, how to declare an XML attribute. So if we see the syntax of XML attribute, let us see this. File type is equals to value. Example, person ID is equals to 3033. It says that here person is an XML element, whereas ID is an XML attribute. An attribute ID holds a value of numerical value, that is 3033. Usually, attributes are used to provide the information that is not a part of the content of XML document. Often, the value of the attribute is more important to the XML parser to a reader. In XML, attributes are always uh, contained with the start tag of an element. With this example, the start tag of an element is person and ID is called as an attribute. So now let us see the use of element versus the use of attribute. So in this example, if you see the use of element and how we are going to declare the attribute, so this can be explained for us with an example. So in this slide, I can explain you how to declare an attribute with the help of an XML element. So if you see this example, person sex is equals to female, first name, last name. So as if we are not using any HTML, XML is not a predefined tagged language. We can use any of the tag as in our programming. So here person is an XML element and sex is an attribute which holds the value that is a characteristic value, that is female. So let us see how the elements are used. So if we see this, this is also the same meaning that gives to the reader, similar to the previous program. This is what I can get an information that the sex is female. The first name of the female lady is Raj and the last name is Kumari. So if I go to the second example, this also explains that she is a person and her sex is female. Her first name is Raj and last name is Kumari. So now if I go through this and if I go through this example, the two examples gives the same meaning to the reader, but the way I declare is different. So if we see this example, Here, sex is not an attribute, sex is an element, saying that she is a female. And the first name is Raj and the last name is Kumari. So in these two previous examples, example 1, attribute for sex, and example 2, element for sex, gives the same meaning to the reader, but the way of declaration is different. So in this, here, sex is an attribute in this example, whereas in this example, here, sex is an element. I think now you have got the clear idea between the XML element and an XML attribute. There is no much confusion, or there is no the state of being confused of knowing between the attribute and element, which is similar to HTML. So if I go for the next slide, this is another example, shows the meaning, says that version is 1.0 for the XML statement, and here note is a root element which have an attribute called date, which holds a value, date value, and the child elements are to, from, heading and body. If I go through this example, it gives an information that on particular date, so and so person is sending a reminder that this Saturday we have meeting at 12 p.m. from a person called Ravi. The same example can be explained in another way. Let us see that. If I see the example 2, the first line explains the XML statement and note is a root element. Here now, date is not an attribute, but date is an element. So, which gives the same meaning to the reader. Here I think the two examples gives a better idea between the use of elements and use of attribute. In this first example, date is an attribute under the starting node of note. So in the second example, date is an element. So this also gives the same meaning to a reader. On so and so particular date, so and so person is sending a reminder saying that this Saturday we have meeting at 12 p.m. from so and so person. And let us go for the third example. Even this third example gives the same meaning and says that different types of introducing the different types of elements such as day, month, and year also gives the same example, same meaning to the reader. Says that the note sent by so and so person from so and so person, sending a reminder that this Saturday we are having meeting at 12 p.m. on particular day, on particular month, on particular year. So these three examples, example 1, example 2, example 3, gives the same meaning to the reader. So I think you have got a clear idea between the use of attributes and use of elements, which is similar to HTML. And now let us see the disadvantages of XML attributes. Mainly we are having 5 different types of disadvantages while we use XML attributes. So if we come across, the attributes cannot contain multiple values. So in the previous examples, whether it is a character, whether it is a number, or whether it is a string, it holds only one value, can't hold multiple values. So this is one of the disadvantages. Going to the second disadvantage, the attributes are not extended for the use, for the future use. The attributes cannot be extended for the further use. The third disadvantage is it cannot be described like structures. As if we have seen the syntax of XML, there is a structure, there is a coding structure like root, child, subchild, etc. Similarly, this XML attributes doesn't have any structure, which doesn't hold any structure like child attributes. The next fourth disadvantage is this XML attributes are more difficult to manipulate the program code. So if I need to do any manipulations by using this XML attributes, it is very difficult. Coming to the last disadvantage, this XML values are not easily tested against DTD. It is very difficult to test against data type definition. So these are the different types of disadvantages we can see in XML attributes. So next going for the next slide. So how a program is said to be a valid? If I write an XML program, how can I say it is a valid XML program? Before going to know it is a valid XML program, I should say first it should be a well-formed program. What is a well-formed program? A well-formed XML document is a document that confines to the syntactical rules of XML. If I write a program according to the XML syntactical rules, then I say that it is a well-formed XML document. Now, if it is not according to the syntax of XML specification with version, some root element or some child element, which I have given in this example on this slide, it is not in that structure, then it is surely it is not a document which is not under XML syntax rules. So if it is according to the XML statement, root element, under that child, under that subchild, if I have in a nested order, then I can say that those particular XML documents are well-formed XML documents. And simply I can't say that a well-formed XML document is a valid XML document. How I can say that XML document is valid? It should follow the two rules. This XML document should follow a well-formed XML document, and also it should satisfy or it should confine the rules of DTD. If it follow the rules of data type definition and it should be said a well-formed XML document, then only I can say that it is a valid XML statement. If you see on this example on the screen, it is satisfying the rules of well-formed as well as it is mentioning the rules of DTD, saying in the second line of the example, doc type node system internal node.dtd. DTD says that it is a document type definition. So I can say a valid XML document should satisfy the rules of well-formed XML document as well as it should confine the rules of DTD. Then only I can say that it is a valid XML document. So in this example, I can see the structure or the nested structure of well-formed XML document as well as the rule which I implied here to do the DTD. So now I can say that it is a valid XML document. Thanks for watching. Thank you.